Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. The cryptocurrency landscape is a constantly ever-changing space, especially if you've been here over the last couple of years. I've noticed while being in this market for a while now, nearly a decade, that a lot of times when we get very good news, I think it gets breezed over and or people don't understand the significance of it. And that's across the entire spectrum. It's not for one coin. It's not just for one project. The exact same thing goes for the entire idea that BlackRock is officially inside of Bitcoin. For those of you who missed it a couple of days ago as well, there was also an article saying that Fidelity, as I've been saying for a long time, Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin since around 2014, which tells me that even in 2013, they were probably buying and they thought that mining it would be a lot easier to be able to accumulate a lot more, what have you. When we get news like this, I typically expect that it will do something to the market. But I think that we've kind of evolved past that in a sort of way, and I'll explain very lightly. The way that big finance works is that even if news is made public to the public, it tends to have normally no effect on price because the big boys, the big players who are in the market, they know exactly what to do to lull the market and or have the news pass by so that they can accumulate more. This goes for stocks. This goes for bond market as well. This goes for gold and silver. This goes for real estate, you name it. And it's also the exact same thing for the cryptocurrency market. Over the course of the last, it's been about 2 months, 2.5 months, we have received an enormous amount of news about one company in particular. You should definitely know them. They go by the name of Ripple. They're very significant in that they were one of the first larger companies within the cryptocurrency space. A lot of other ones were kind of like small incubators and or startups, if you will, a group of 3, 4, 5 people who were trying to create a coin. Ripple was one of the larger entities within the cryptocurrency space. They gained popularity and then also unpopularity against people who believed that they were trying to usurp and or become the #1 coin and or take over Ethereum. You name it, has been a whole bunch of stuff over the last couple of years, which we're not going to necessarily discuss. One of the really important things in this conversation is that over the course of the last 7 or so years, as they gained in more popularity, was the idea of what the company Ripple was actually going to do, where they were going to expand, how big they were going to become, and who they were going to work with. Since around the end of 2020, I'll even give it a good beginning of 2020, a lot of legal issues began to pop up within the US, basically because of the SEC, basically because of other really weird allegations. For those of you who weren't here, there were a couple of people who, I'm not joking, this is not a joke, there were a couple of people who said that they lost around $200, 200, that number, when XRP began to fall in price at the beginning of 2018, and therefore they were trying to sue Ripple for several $1 million. You can look it up. Very weird lawsuits. They had a lot of issues. Fast forwarding a lot to sometime this year, where Ripple got the win in the lawsuit versus the SEC as far as if XRP was an unregistered security, which was nonsense from the get-go. They ended up winning, and the SEC still is not very happy about that. Since that moment, we have been receiving what I would say is an avalanche of news. Constantly, over and over, every single day, a lull period. 2 years, 2.5, maybe 3 years of barely any news about anything but what was going on with the SEC. And now nearly everything that we are hearing about is I would dare say, major news. We had news on this channel of, I think they're now working with around 16 different countries to help them build the countries' central bank digital currencies on top of the XRP blockchain. We also recently heard, I think it was another video here, if not here, then on my other channel, The Modern Investor, where we had received information that apparently they were working with 5 central banks around the world to help them build their currencies or digital currencies, what have you. Also, on top of the XRP ledger. Apparently, we were all wrong because one of the CLO or CFO, some letters came forward from Ripple and said that they're actually working with 30 different central banks around the world to help them build their central bank digital currency. The good news keeps on rolling in. And when I say that I think we've gotten past the point of like price movement, I think it's because what's mainly in the market right now is what we would like to call smart money. That is to say, the people who buy when things are low. You'll sit there and you go, well, that's easy enough to do. You just simply buy when prices are low. But the vast majority of people and or investors don't actually do this. A lot of people wait for the signal that the market is going back up. And this is when they buy into the market. That's not financial advice. It's more of this is how world markets work. People see that prices are down. They assume that they'll be down for a while and they don't touch the market, not understanding that they have a multi-year period where they could have been buying said asset or said stock or said real estate or a collectible, as we've been talking about before. It just kind of breezes by until they see that prices have gone up. FOMO kicks in. They buy into the market. But to be fair, we also need, wink, wink, these people because they actually help the market rise a lot faster. It's the realization that they missed out on what they could have had and had not bought what they should have, that they end up buying so much out of this, like, the word's not sadness, but like, I should have been doing this before, that it propels the market to go a lot higher. This thing creates a chain reaction and other people buy into the market. It's the same exact thing with the stock market where you'll look and you'll see the prices have risen 15, 20% over the course of 2 weeks. And it's because of this FOMO effect. Bringing it on back. Got a little off track. There was another bit of news that I think nearly everyone missed. I think even people within XRP probably also missed this as well, because I saw this in one article and then I had to search around for the news, which it actually is true. As always, there will be links in the description below for you to see and read and peruse through as you so choose to do. Recently, it was announced that Ripple has actually, the company, has partnered officially with Western Union. Western Union's CEO, Hikmet Ersek, officially announced that they are going to be testing and then integrating XRP into their systems to use XRP as their actual mode of transfer around the world. For those of you who don't know how Western Union and MoneyGram actually work, the idea is that if you are sending money around the world, if you are sending US dollars to Mexico, Mexican pesos to the Philippines, from the Philippines into Japan, from Japan into South Africa, they are required to have pre-funded accounts. It sounds archaic. It's because it is. The idea is that you as a company would need to have those currencies pre-funded in a safe, in a drawer somewhere that says that we can actually receive this money to be able to transfer it into another currency and then hand it over to the person in that country. It sounds nonsensical, but this is the way that it works. The idea is if you integrate or use XRP, it is digital. You don't need to touch anything. Anyone can have it. Anyone can own it on their phone, on their device. You walk into a store, you simply say, I am sending or using this to send remittances around the world. And that's the basic, I mean, there's no real difficulty when you actually talk about it that way. We had a lot of speculation and news a number of years ago that there were partnerships like this actually going on, but now it has been officially announced. Thus my, confusion as to why a lot of other people weren't talking about it. I even found around, I got into a conversation before with someone on Twitter, and it wasn't an argument, but people like to just scream at me on Twitter for whatever reason. And someone was saying, well, any type of news from Ripple isn't that significant because most companies don't have high enough revenue stream for it to actually mean anything. I.e., we've gotten news before about Ripple working with countries, and they were like, well, these are countries that only have like a couple $1 million flowing through them every single year, which is that's not how it works at all, regardless of what you might think. It's actually still billions of dollars. Western Union's revenue, the last numbers that we got was $4.3 billion just for remittances within their actual system. I try, as always, to keep the videos here a little bit more relatively, I don't want to say the word calm, but I like to just relay the news and for you to take it as you will. But we are in a very significant time right now within the cryptocurrency space, at least for me, where it is abundantly clear that we have passed past the speculative layer of the cryptocurrency market, in that years ago we speculated as to who would use these coins, who would integrate these coins, who would be, making use of cryptocurrencies in general. And there are still only roughly around 4 to 5 different coins, projects, cryptocurrencies out there that are actually partnered with and or doing major things. If you've been watching this channel, you know exactly what they are. And yes, Ripple, the company, and XRP are definitely also in that batch as well. So I just always want to make sure that you know what's going on, you understand what's happening, you realize that we heard from the company Ripple years ago that they would be partnering with dozens of banks, and now they have partnered with dozens of banks. They are partnered with dozens of countries as well, and also major countries and companies as well are going to be actively using XRP. So take the news how you will. I've noticed a lot of people continue to buy into what are known as garbage coins. And I just question why, when you see that there's actual usage of certain coins already happening within the market. Yeah, I do sincerely hope that you have all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.